What is going on, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are here. It is Redcat Live time. It's our inaugural live show that we're going to be offering you guys, hopefully with the next coming weeks to come. Hopefully you guys can hear me out there. If you guys can give me a sound check, if you guys are on Facebook and can hear your boy, please let me know. I see we got a lot of awesome folks here. I got you guys on a big 70-inch TV screen right behind me, so I'll be able to see a lot of the comments coming up, and I appreciate all you guys showing up early as well. There we go. So, with that said, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. This is the first show of Redcat Live, and a lot of you guys got questions as to, hey, what is Redcat Live? Redcat Live is going to be an interactive experience that we do with you guys so that we can help answer questions, as well as keep you guys up to date as to what is new with Redcat Racing and what we want to do is on Facebook. Let's see here. Okay, it's what's up from Mexico? I see. Nice aspects and not the negativity. So if you guys can, when you guys see someone doing a build and doing something great with their stuff, man, give them a thumbs up, give them that love, let them know that you appreciate that information. You know, anyone that wants to be negative on the pages, there's just no room for that. So, you know, spread that love, spread that positivity. That's what the Lowrider community is all about. That's what the RC hobby community should be about. So help me, help everyone else. If you see someone struggling and have a question that might have been asked 20 times, help them out. That's what we're all here for. With that said, I wanted to let you guys know about some upcoming topics and things that we'll be doing as Redcat Live. We'll be going over a lot of builders that have built some amazing lowriders, as well as some builders that have built some amazing crawlers as well and bashers. We don't want to just stick to just the lowrider theme stuff for you guys. We want to make sure we offer you guys a plethora of opportunities to learn about the RC hobby in general. We'll be going over upcoming events that we'll be doing. A Q&A session with our lead engineer. We'll actually have him on the show later on today. Maybe. I don't know if he has time for us today, but we will have him on the next week's show. We actually have a show that we'll go over with him solely on the 64, where you guys will literally be able to nitpick his brain and go through the whole car up and down, and literally you can ask him why he did this and why he did that. He loves those questions. They're fun. But other than that, we'll be doing some going over upgrades that us as Redcat are going to be offering for the platform that we already do, such as the car cover, the wheels, the low-profile tires, the chain-link steering wheel, you know, all of those types of things. So, you know, definitely, you know, stay tuned for lots more to come in the weeks to come. I'm going to be doing some interviews with some awesome builders, some of the guys that you guys already know and follow on the Lowrider pages, people like RC Patina Guy, Candy and Chrome. So, you know, stay tuned and make sure that you guys like and follow the page so that you guys don't miss out any of those awesome opportunities. Yeah, square body RCs. 10 points for the word plethora. Thank you, B. I appreciate that, Brandon. Man, watching on Instagram and Facebook. Man, Matthew Flores, thank you, brother. Man, much appreciated. Man, it's overwhelming to see how many people want to join us and be a part of this. A great time with lots of other cars as well. So we'll be doing some cool stuff on how-tos. I want to go over some how-to stuff with you guys on how to cut the roofs off these cars, how to install the toe-in parts that we have seen so many people having issues with and are 3D printing them thanks to our awesome engineer who created them for us. And I do apologize to the guys on Facebook. For some reason, I keep cutting in and out. First time we're doing this. Hopefully we'll be able to get this thing squared away. Obviously, you guys on Instagram are amazing. Thank you, guys. You guys are sticking with it, so thank you guys so much. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have some technical difficulties as we go. And with that said, it's a growing pains thing. And, you know, it's not going to be perfect. It might be a little skittish at first, but, hey, that's what grassroots RCing is all about, right? We got to start somewhere. With that said, where are we? Let me see if I can answer a couple questions. Let me see. Awesome. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate the love on the Gen 8s. It's an awesome truck. The shredder, yeah, yeah, much love for that too. Yep, Eric, I got to hit my tech guy. He messed up on me. You're fired, bro. Just so you guys know, my name is Oscar Ramirez. I am one of the founding members of ASD Crawlers. It's a group that works with special needs children to provide great opportunities for parents and children on the spectrum of autism. That's similarly how I came to be and land here with all of you awesome folks. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have time, want to listen to podcasts, check out the RC Hangout where we talk RCs day and night. Shout out to all the homies out there that are part of that squad. Love you guys to death. Let me see. How much snow is in Arizona? Not much snow right now. Maybe up north. You'll get some snow. I know that I did a couple of video edits on the Kaiju. I think it was early last month, sorry. And I was bashing it in the snow, having a great time with it. Didn't break anything, and I beat it up. I even sent it off of a rooftop. But yeah, plenty of snow up there. I think now, safe to say, you're probably not going to get any snow at all. But yeah, thank you for that question, guys. Good job on the lighting. Thank you. Much love. Much love. None in Prescott. Yeah, and I was up in Prescott Valley not that long ago. So since there's no snow up there, we're pretty safe now. So let's get going, though, guys. You know, you guys are here for a reason. You guys want to know all the new stuff, all the things happening with Redcat Racing. There's going to be a ton of questions as to what we do. Can we make suggestions on the cars? Yeah, man, you can make suggestions. Doesn't mean I have to use them, but we can try. Yeah, I do. You know what's funny, Robert, is I actually never used a Kaiju until I came on board here. Took it out, enjoyed it. Man, it is a beast. I did not use it on 6S. I did get to use it and beat it up on 4S for many hours, and it was a great time. Definitely a rig that I would love. So, or love to use and recommend to a lot of folks. On 6S, it's skittish. It's a little much. It's definitely a little bit smaller than a 10 scale, or 8 scale is what they categorize it as. So it is a little bit smaller than that, but yeah, you know, it's a great rig. It's a great platform, and definitely recommended. Nick, yes, I am now been recently put in charge of the Redcat pages on Facebook. Yes, Jasmine, these are the low-profile tires on the Lowrider that we offer. You guys can kind of see it right then and there. And I don't know why I'm frozen again, but here we go. Can Redcat make 110 Prius body? Redcat products are you guys running? What's your favorite? What's your go-to? Yeah, let's see. All right. So, Gen 7s, Gen 8s, great platform. Absolutely. Dylan, great question on the bumpers, the flexible bumpers. And with that said, we will be having the bumpers as well as the tow-in arms available sometime in April. And we'll be releasing some information as to how to sign up to get those for all of you guys that have actually purchased 64s already. So don't miss out. It's going to be a good time. Stay tuned for all that information as it comes. All right. So I'm not. Give me 1 second, guys. Order from you direct. Marcus Jennings, what's good, brother, man? How you doing? Yeah, you got it, Francis. Again, stay tuned, guys. As I mentioned, the parts for the bumpers, the flexible bumpers, the tow-in parts, just to say it again, we should hopefully have those readily available sometime in April, as long as things go well. We'll release a link for you guys to be able to sign up for those that have purchased the car, so that we can get you guys taken care of. Are we going to do the gold? You know what? You're just gonna have to wait and see. There's a lot of great stuff in the mad scientist's laboratory. Much love, Nick. Thank you so much. It's not easy to run pages when you're trying to please everyone, and I'm human just like everyone else, so I make mistakes, and hopefully I won't make a lot of embarrassing ones at that. So. Much love. Thank you. I really appreciate the feedback. When will Redcat make a Lolo taco truck for us taco boys? Listen, I'm all about the Taco Tour 2021. I am Mr. Taco, so I'm all about it. With that said, the taco truck, I think you're going to have to build one yourself. Buy yourself a platform, make it happen. Anyone else out there on Instagram want a taco truck? Man, I'm telling you, you guys can do it. Do it up. In fact, Eric Sarceno, I challenge you to create one. That would be amazing. You got to do that, brother. Yeah, man, Redcat stays. Let's see. Dylan, at this time, there's no information that I can share with you on that. I wish I had something, but unfortunately, it's a little bit above what I can share. I just don't know. Yeah. Take a 70s Chevy's truck. You know what? I'm a big fan of the square bodies. Square bodies are awesome. Anything Chevy, in my opinion, is cool. So, much love. No, you know what? King of the Streets. Yeah, I was there. Taco truck was on point. The burritos were good too. So, I'm glad that happened. Any chance of a 58 or 59 Impala body coming soon? Bob, again, only time will tell. There's a lot of great, cool stuff happening. I mean, just rest assured, we had no idea that this was going to take off like it did. And because of the feedback that we've received from so many people and the fact that we've been able to just get such a positive just support, culturally speaking, for the 64, it really kind of sparked us to really want to kind of play into that a little bit more. So, I mean, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of great things coming out that you guys are bound to enjoy and love. It could be this, it could be that, but just trust me, you're not going to want to go anywhere. It's going to be great. What wheels do you have on your 64? Francis, so these are the low pros from Redcat Racing that we offer. I do also own a set of 3D scale printed ones. I actually enjoyed the sidewall on these a little bit more. They're softer rubber, while the other ones are like a resin printed rubber. I really enjoy these. And what I did with the foams on this car is I actually trimmed the foams so that I can get it to flex a little bit more. So while it's hopping and on three-wheel motion, I get a little bit more of the tire flex. So, if you guys want to do that, and if you guys want an how-to on that, let me know. I can also shoot for doing that on a later show as well. Skirts for the 64. We don't offer the skirts, but there are a lot of folks out there that I've seen that print them, that you can have and make and whatnot. You guys want to know what's under the cover, right? That's what you guys want to see. All right. Well, let's go over it. So this is my personal 64. And again, to you guys on Instagram, I apologize to you guys. I know you guys are right here down here. I can't see the comments close enough, but I wanted to at least give those folks that don't have Facebook an opportunity to be able to join us as well. So I appreciate you guys being on here, and I appreciate you guys taking it for what it's worth. Let's go over my 64 if you guys want to do that. I heard Redcat put the RC and MP brand that we offer as well. So if you guys want any of the accessories that we offer, redcatracing.com, make sure you check them out. I believe it's great. I love the texture as well. It's almost like a microfiber. You guys want to see what's underneath the car though, right? Is that what you guys want? Let me see it. Here we go. Here's my 64, and it is a convertible. I went ahead and trimmed it, cut the top off of it just recently. And then I also opened up the trunk as well. And in the back, I got 4 15s. Well, maybe not 15s, 1.5s maybe. JL audio. Uh-oh.
Dude, you're still here?
My bad. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the one and only Mr. Matt Jackson.
Oh, crap, we're live?
Yes, we're live, sir.
Oh, snap.
I hopefully that gets me out of the hot seat. I wasn't supposed to be here, but I'm here now. So, Matt, I'm at the bother you because I've been getting a lot of internet issues, unfortunately, but we'll get through that. So we've been cutting in and out on Facebook. I got the guys on Instagram right here. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you, Mr. Matt Jackson. He is the main engineer here at Redcat Racing. He is the man, the brain power behind a lot of what's been going on and a lot of future stuff happening. And
Well, I mean, you say that.
I say that, but I also get paid to say that. So.
Oh, right. That's the money I slipped you under the table. Right.
Yes. Let me turn your mic on. I apologize. There you go. That might help a little bit. Yes, Aaron. I call him the mad scientist. I'm not allowed to, though, I guess. But
I'm not a huge fan of the term. Just
I get it, and we went over that, right?
Yeah, right.
What is the difference between a scientist and an engineer?
well, the main difference is if I was engineers do science too, but right, if I was a scientist, I would still be working on perfecting the car.
Yeah.
Like the difference between engineers and scientists is an engineer rounds off a couple decimal places and gets stuff done.
See, you guys get that, right? It's like, hey, sometimes you just got to push it through, make it happen, Captain. So before we get into a little quick Q&A with Matt, so you guys can ask him some questions within reason, guys, please. I'll finish going over the 64 really quick. So this started as just a factory 64. Obviously, we went ahead and installed some corrective parts that we 3D printed so that we can get the toe-in issue corrected on the front end, which worked out great. We also went ahead and, as I mentioned, cut the top off of this one to insinuate the convertible. Open the trunk. You guys see the JL audios back there.
Oh man, I hadn't seen the finished thing.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Well, I need your brain power because I need to create a couple more tidbits.
Oh yeah, we could print some parts to like kind of finish that look.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. And I also got 6 yellow top Optima batteries. They're going to be going right here that I'm painting at home right now. And these are the Low Pro tires that we offer here at Redcat Racing. Definitely, in my opinion, my favorite design due to the size and just the fact that, again, you get that squishy tire again. And I like that. I like that look when you're at 3-wheel motion. And again, these foams are actually cut. I took about 6 millimeters off of these foams to allow a little bit more tire flex, if I may.
That's one of the things I think is something that's fairly common that somebody might do that's in the hobby, has been in the hobby for a while. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to do with this show, right, is do a little bit of the education, not necessarily like real education, but just kind of introducing people who might be new to the hobby because of cars like the 64, and showing them the things that you can do and how you go about doing those things versus the guys that have been in the crawler game for forever or whatever. So
exactly, for a lot of the crawler scene guys, going over to a 64 and blindly just cutting into it, like it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel weird to do that, But for the guy that this is their first hobby grade car, a lot of people are going to cringe. They're not going to want to cut into a car like that. So that's where we come in and hopefully kind of make that buffer for everyone to be able to enjoy the hobby to the best of their ability.
yeah.
Will Redcat be making any drag cars? Dylan, you know what? Who knows at this point? We have so many things in the works that I couldn't even begin to fathom how that could or how it would work. But
so I will tell you that the product roadmap is quite extensive. We forecast out pretty far. Obviously, we were working on the 64 for 3.5 years. Like this was a long work in progress, but we really didn't have any idea, how good the reception was going to be and how well it was going to sell. So as we see the reception to various products, we shift the roadmap around a little bit and see how things go. So we're always talking about what things we might want to add. I mean, recently there was that event in Vegas for
yeah,
Traxxers.
King of the Streets. Awesome event.
Yeah, and that seemed like that went over pretty well. So I mean, who knows? We might decide that that's a thing we want to put on the schedule. I just don't know yet.
Right, right. And so, in other words, stay tuned. But, Matt touched base on something really important, which is when you guys see a car like the 64 and the engineering that went into it, the thought process that went into it to make it do what it does and act in the fashion that we wanted to do, which was to work like a real car, right? We wanted the, and I'm going to mess this up, Ackerman. We wanted the Ackerman angles to be correct. We wanted the camber to work like a real car would. So the chassis design on the 64 and the suspension of it was based off of more of a realistic vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, and that's something we're always trying to balance, right? Is the idea of scale performance versus the performance that somebody expects out of, a toy or a crawler, anything. So
Right.
that's something that we kind of started with the Gen 8, right? That was the first built-in house with our own engineering department vehicle. And there's a lot of things that we learned there about expectations of the community versus what's actual scale performance, right?
Right, because for our scale performanceness of it, it created the tow issue, right?
Yeah, kind of. That's one thing. A lot of like the origins of the tow issue was like the very first thing we did when we started on the 64 was figure out how to make the thing hop, right? Because that's the big engineering problem, right? It's
Right.
like, how do you do that? So in order to make the thing hop, we had to have a suspension. So we went around and designed the suspension following, standard guidelines that we would for how you design a suspension. Like we weren't even like embedded into the lowrider game yet. We didn't know what we didn't know even. And so that was actually like the very first piece that the molding was done on. The suspension parts were like done.
Yeah.
And so we were testing it and driving it out, and like we saw the tow thing, and we're like, oh yeah, well, it makes it kind of hard to drive with it up, but we didn't think, hey, this is a great big problem. And then as soon as there were so many people in the community said, hey, oh no, this can't work like this, like
Right.
I immediately sat down and redesigned the suspension.
Because everyone and their mother wanted to drive this thing fully locked up. That was like the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever, right, guys? You guys agree? It was one of my biggest things when I first saw the car first. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. I don't like that. But see, that's the difference between other manufacturers, and I'm not talking bad about anyone else. And here at Redcat, we really wanted to make sure that we listened to all of you guys, our community. And you guys spoke, and Matt said, you know what? Yeah, let's do something. Let's design something. And we went as far as to offer the file on Thingiverse free for everyone to be able to print. Not to monetize on it, guys, but to print for fun. And yeah, with that said, Anthony, much love to Jeffries. We always give him lots of love and credit. And, his design work, or not even design work, just the influence behind the car itself really helped push this in the right direction. And it's a collaborative effort. But see, taking the design and the thought of it is one thing, and then we're now talking to the engineer who literally is figuring out how to make that vision come to reality to a point where all of you guys can enjoy it in a hobby grade fashion. So yeah, shout out Jeffries. Thank you so much for everything you've done, and shout out to Matt for all the hard work that he's put into it in 3 years of work.
So this was the 3.5, and actually next month is my 4-year anniversary with Redcat.
So when you arrived here,
Yeah.
literally it's like, here's this lowrider we're trying to do.
Yeah. So actually, if it wasn't for Jeffries, I probably wouldn't be working at Redcat. I was actually working for a full-size car company in town, and I was approached by the owner of the company saying, hey, I kind of always wanted to like design my own stuff and start bringing out our own things that were designed in the U.S. And very first day, come in, and here's this model that Jeffries made, and it's sitting on the boss's table, and he's like, I want you to go figure out how to bring this to production. And like that was my life for most of 3 years. I mean, we did design a Gen 8 in there and several other cars that came out in the meantime. But a lot of that was like, while the factory was figuring out how they were going to make the molds for stuff that we had designed and that kind of stuff. But this was it was definitely a long process because it was something new. Nobody really brought something like this to production. I mean, we'd seen like the small ones, like Radio Shack had the homie hoppers and stuff.
Right, and those are, and to be fair, those were even cool back then too. I was suckered into getting a few of those. I liked them. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, making something to a point where it's then enjoyable in a hobby grade fashion it's not. It doesn't happen overnight, right? And there's a lot of a thought process that went into it. Because let me ask you a question: did you realize when you created this or made this 64 what it is now today, what we see here on this table? Did you envision people cutting the trunks open, cutting the roofs off, cutting the hoods open?
I was pretty sure people were going to cut the roof off just because we'd seen that on crawlers, because that's something that's fairly commonly done, and people putting cages and stuff and getting elaborate with the interiors. I didn't expect to see custom audio boxes as quickly as we did, but I kind of thought that would happen. I did not expect really to see people opening trunks and stuff, and that was like the very first thing. Like first week it was out, there were people putting little scale 3D printed hinges in their trunks and stuff.
Pumps and batteries.
Oh gosh, we got to figure out how to relocate the battery. But I mean, I don't know. Like there's a lot of potential there for moving the battery someplace else. Like if you're not concerned with hopping, right? We put all that weight in the back because we wanted to make the balance just right with the stock servo and everything. So
in that geometry aspect alone and what had to happen to get the car to hop, I mean, how many attempts did you guys have at making this thing hop?
Oh geez, we didn't count. Well, we started out with actually trying to use solenoids. We tried to basically replicate the way that kind of the same physics that Jeffries had been using, and we wound up doing something similar using the servo, but I can't even remember the reasoning behind it right off the top of my head, but like we didn't want to go with a servo. We wanted to go with something a little simpler.
Okay.
But then it turns out a servo is actually a really good solution for it, because for a given servo, you can tune how much force is actually applied to the front by changing the length of the servo horn.
Right.
And then you have the added benefit of being able to adjust, fine adjustment of the front end. So you're not just hopping, you're putting it wherever you want.
And we've seen, for those guys that have been in the hobby for a long time, you guys have seen just how you can clock a servo and change its endpoints as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's a big part of actually the setup of this car is like making sure you get your endpoints correct for how you put the servo horns on for the front and the rear. Just like centering a steering servo in any car.
Right.
But like to answer your question, like it was tons. We went through just about every servo we could find from every servo manufacturer that we thought was in the right range. And there weren't really any that we were really happy with. And it was about that time that we were about to come out with the Axe edition of the Gen 8.
Oh.
And so
this dates just how far back this project's being worked on.
We were actually in California visiting with Reefs, because Reefs supplied the servo for the Axe edition. And he was like, "So what else you got going on?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I don't know if I can show you this." I believe he said, "Oh, come on, you can show me anything."
And it's
all right.
Right. And if you guys know Reefs RC, man, shout out Reefs RC. Love the guy, man. Great products. And his servos work on anything RC related. And he's always coming up with great stuff too.
But yeah, I showed it. I showed him the picture and a video actually of one of the very first prototypes hopping that wasn't even this like the right aspect ratio for this car. And like his eyes lit up and was like, "Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I got something for you. Let me send you something."
Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Yeah. And look at that. I mean, and that's a collaboration that you guys have in the hobby. The community is huge in a lot of ways, but then it's really small at times.
Yeah.
You also are the one that designed what we now offer, the chain link steering wheel.
Right. I'm actually the one manufacturing them too.
No, check that out. So, but there was something specific about the chain link steering wheels that we offer, which is the size. We've seen some people that created some, and if you factor what their size is, they're not to scale.
They're a little off. Yeah, and I actually started with the little 8-inch ones, right? Like most people would know when you look at the Love Machine from Cheech and Chong that RC Patina guy made. Like I made those little wheels for him for that car that are a scale 8-inch wheel, which is actually the wheel that they used in the car in that movie.
Yeah. Were those like Kragers, SS Kragers? Or
yeah.
Or Supremes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the steering wheel was actually in that movie. It came from a Lowrider bike. Is what was actually used in that car.
Oh, no way.
So, I made that, but it's way too fragile, like at that scale. And so we had to basically just scale the whole thing up to a 13-inch scale to make it anywhere near the level of durability you would want for something that you're going to just send out and ship to just anybody who orders one, right?
Right. So one of the cool things is I'm actually gonna pick one up here pretty soon and put it on as well on the car, because I jokingly told Matt, I'm like, hey, if you're gonna create a steering wheel, like, you gotta understand, like, I come from East Oakland, all right. So for me, a chain link steering wheel means I need it small enough that I can drive with my hands handcuffed. And he looked at me like, bro, you can't say that. I'm like, I can, because I got homies that did that. Like, like, I gotta go, you know? And like, it was one of those things where he's like, no, I think you're right. And he started looking at the sizing, and he's like, I'm going to remake this the right size. And it was awesome. So if you guys, again, any of the products that we offer, from hats to the shirts to the car covers, wheels, redcatracing.com, make sure that you guys come on in and check that out. And we got, for all you guys that are still hanging out, you know, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone on Instagram that has stopped by. Thank you to everyone on Facebook that's still hanging out with us. We got a great announcement that we're going to be letting you guys know about here in a few moments, here at the end. So don't go anywhere. We still got plenty to go here. What is, Matt, in your opinion, the biggest issue that you faced in creating the 64?
Oh, 100%. It was how to make it hop correctly, like, or to get the motion that we wanted.
Yeah.
We spent months with testing different servos, like we were just talking about, but also the weight distribution and the balance, and exactly where the balance points had to be in order to have out of the box performance like we wanted.
Right, because there's something called expectation of reality, and actual reality, right?
Right.
And for a lot of the folks out there, for me, the ballast weight that you guys added was a bit much for me. I was like, this is too easy. But I understand why you did it, because everyone that took this car out of the box wanted to make it hop and make it work, right? So with that said, I took, I think, 2 plates out, and I challenged myself to make that bad boy, you know, balance and hop and lock up. Because
if you can get it to sit on the bumper with 2 plates out, that's impressive.
Well, I also added the speakers in the back. So, sure. But again, guys, you know, for future shows, we're going to be going over how to cut the tops off the cars. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that follow our page for Redcat Lowrider, and they're showing you different ways on how to lower a car and things that they do. Understand this. When I talk about lowering the 64 in front of this man, he looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, don't do that. You're going to mess up all this awesome geometry and hard work I put into it. And I'm over here like,
no.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do something.
I mean, that's totally what we expect, right? Like, a part of the design methodology behind this thing was we wanted to have a certain level of stockness to it, right? That's why it doesn't sit as low as some people might like. That's why the wheels are actually 14s instead of 13s. Mm-hmm. It's because we wanted to also appeal to the people who actually were interested in a more stock Impala SS, because it's like the car they had, not necessarily the lowrider crowd, right?
Right.
Because it has some, you know, there's going to be fans from a lot of different places. Like, my dad had a 1964 Impala when he was in college, and like, he bought one very first shipment. He was like, I got to have one. Like, because the color blue we came out with was actually the same color his car was.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was really pleased with that. But that's, you know, that's why a lot of those things are the way they are. But we also had this expectation that, like the full size lowrider community, people are going to do anything and everything with this car. Like, that's what it's about, is customizing it and making it your own. Like, if it was exactly the lowrider that you wanted out of the box, you might be doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, it's not really a lowrider unless you customize the heck out of it.
Right. And that's the thing, is that like anything else you do when you buy a brand new car, you make it your own, right? You make it unique to you. So, you know, I'm interested to see just how far guys are going to take these builds and what they're going to do with them. And if we feel like it at some given point in one of the shows, I'll show you what I did to lower mine without being invasive to the car. I didn't damage it. I didn't put holes in it. I didn't do any of those kinds of things. But I did get it to sit at least about 5 millimeters lower. There are some guys that want to ask a couple questions that are not 64 related that I wanted to ask you really quick, Matt. People want to talk about the Windigo.
Windigo, yes.
And one of the questions is what is, let me see, I could use some help with my Windigo. Well, Michael, what do you got going on, brother, man? I want to know what you're dealing with.
Are we going to turn into a support call here?
Caller 101, now taking answers. So one of the guys was asking a question on the Windigo. What do you like the most about it, and what one thing you don't like about it?
Okay. So to me, the Windigo was another example of scale performance, right? We spent most of our time there on trying to replicate the scale suspension performance of an actual Ultra 4 race car, right? And a lot of people that go out there and they see the Windigo in a store at like a hobby shop or whatever aren't necessarily going to know what that is. They're just going to like see it's a cool truck, and like the performance of the car might not meet their expectations, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's designed to be a exact 1/10 scale Ultra 4 race car, like 4500 class Ultra 4 race car.
Right.
So that's why, you know, it performs the way it does. I love like the wheel speed you get with it. My actually favorite thing about the car is how well it does when you put an axe system in it.
Oh,
yeah. If you put an axe system in it out of the Gen 8 axe, it is a fantastic crawler, but still has enough punch to really get going pretty good.
Get that wheel speed when you need it.
Yeah. Okay. So like for me, that's the kind of car I really like, because it's a challenge to try to replicate the type of performance in the real world at a small scale, right?
Yeah.
So that I could take a couple of them out, and we did this, and that's actually what created the Windigo promotional video, was taking several of them out there and actually just go out and racing and setting up a miniature Ultra 4 course.
So you're telling me that the video that you guys created, that promo for, was you guys playing?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, dude.
No, yeah, we were out there playing for like an entire day, and we just happened to have a camera crew.
See, I knew I joined the right team. Oh, man. Guys, so, you know, with that said, you know, we appreciate all you guys swinging by and stopping by. This was the first show, and it was bound to have its fair share of hiccups. And for all you guys out there on Facebook, I do apologize for the technical difficulties that we had early on, and for my jitters as well. I'm used to being in front of camera, but when you're on a new platform right now, so many things can happen, and I just appreciate all the kind words and support. So stay tuned. We're going to try and do this hopefully every week if we can, depending on how we go. We do have some shows lined up for you guys in the future, and we are scheduled for a few shows to go. And
so when am I back? Is it next week?
Next week. So
next week.
Yeah. So okay. All you guys that feel like, hey, you know what? I want answers. I want this. I want that. I want to talk about this. You know, make sure that you guys chime in next week, same time, because we will have Matt here from beginning to end on the show. So we'll be talking all engineering with Matt on next week's episode. With that said, now is the time where I get to give you guys the great news. We're at 102 followers on Facebook right now.
Oh, gosh, what are you going to say? I don't even know.
And something great's going to happen that's coming up. Today's Thursday, right? Today's Thursday.
No, today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Oh, today's Wednesday. Well, I was given the blessing, so I'm going to say it. A little birdie told me that this coming Friday at 9 a.m., we will be dropping a giveaway.
Oh.
And this giveaway is going to be a 1964 Chevrolet Impala, the 64. Not this one. Yeah, this is mine.
Not a full-size one either.
Not a full-size one.
The 64.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys want to, you know, get on the giveaway list, head on over to redcatracing.com, sign up for our newsletter, and we'll send you guys out a reminder as soon as it goes live. But Friday morning, 9 a.m., the link will be live. It will be posted on all the social media platforms, and you'll be able to sign up for your chance to win a Redcat 64 Lowrider. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, and the best part, I forgot to tell you guys, because I will be doing the coverage at the Arizona Lowrider Super Show, the giveaway will end on Friday the 26th. The 27th, I will announce the winner live from the Lowrider show. So stay tuned. Lots of cool stuff. Make sure you sign up as soon as it drops. You're not going to want to miss this. You definitely want a chance to win this bad boy. Any other tidbits that you can help us with really quick before you exit out?
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
If you're gonna, you know, take this car and make it your own, just go for it. I mean, you have to have a certain level of confidence if you're going to go chop the top off, for example, right? Like, that's a fairly expensive replacement
Thank
body.
you.
But, like, I mean, you did a great job. I mean, you've been in the RC game for a while.
I have.
And there's a lot of people out there who I think are setting a great example for the new people
Yes.
in the group, and I love to see it. And a lot of these guys are, being very helpful, and so I just want to see that continue. Like, keep helping each other out, and we'll help you where we can. But we can't wait to see what else you guys come up with.
Right. So, stay tuned, guys. A lot of cool stuff coming up, a lot of great stuff happening. I appreciate all you guys joining us for our first episode, and hopefully it's the beginning of many more to come. Shout out Tony Gutierrez. Appreciate you, brother, man. I see the stuff you're doing out there. And if I can just give one piece of advice for the new hobbyists out there, don't be afraid to ask questions. Step on out. For the one person that might get negative about, hey, we already answered that, there's 100 people that are open to help out. So help each other out. That's what the community is about. And the lowrider community is no different. And I feel that the lowrider community should be even more helpful than anyone else. So much love to everyone out there. RC Patina guy, love you, brother, man, as well. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Matt, for joining us on the show. And
My pleasure.
It was shaky, guys, but we got through the first one. Stay tuned for the next one, guys. Love you guys. Much love.
See y'all later.